All right, welcome to a very special episode of Inappropriate Earl. You know, when Oprah got John Kennedy Jr. on her show, an exclusive interview, I thought that was pretty cool. Today, I think I have something much cooler than that because we have today, quite simply, my guest today is an enigma in the LA comedy world. At first, it was because of his appearance. When you see his picture up on Twitter and whatnot, you'll see that he kind of looks like the serial killer, Richard Ramirez. And he's somewhat small in stature, so we all at the Comedy Store call him Little Richard Ramirez. He's got an amazing background. He's an ex-mixed martial artist. Used to train with KJ Noons, former Strikeforce champion. He's an exotic dancer. Please welcome to Inappropriate Earl, Mr. Jared Levin.
Hey, what's up?
Are you asking me or the crowd?
I don't know. I don't know what to do. Hail Satan?
Well, there you go. I mean, this is off to a flying start. Now, we're going to get right to the meat of the bone here. Why don't you give us your background first? Where are you from?
I'm from Philadelphia.
Really?
Yeah.
What part? North, south?
The suburbs.
Okay. And what brought you to... went to San Diego, right?
Yes.
What makes a guy go from Philadelphia to San Diego?
Well, my mom was living there. She had a house there. And she would work in Vegas on the weekends. And apparently she was stripping there.
What do you mean apparently?
I didn't know. She used to, be really dodgy about it. She said she sold clothes. And her ex-boyfriend was like, "Oh, your mom's been a stripper. Always has been."
And when did you find out for sure she was a stripper? Then?
Yeah, right then.
And what did you think about that?
I was like, "Oh, wow."
So you weren't that upset?
No. I figured there was something.
Well, I mean, hold on. I don't think this is fucking working. God damn it.
Oh, it's not?
No, hold on. Keep talking into the mic.
Okay. Let's see how it's going.
It is working. We're back live. Sorry, guys. I'm not the most technical, audio person. So your mom's a stripper. Now, what, if you don't mind me asking, the dad, is he not in the picture?
Oh, no, he is. I was raised by my dad.
And where is he?
He's in the Philippines right now.
And when did your parents get divorced?
When I was like 3.
And was that hard for you?
Not really.
And did you gravitate toward one parent over the other?
Yeah. I leaned. My dad was the one who pretty much raised me.
Okay. And do you see him a lot?
Yeah, I see him all the time.
Oh, that's cool.
And then my stepmom works in Tropicana.
Tropicana in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And what does she do?
She's a cocktail waitress.
Okay, that's cool. At a strip club or like just in the main restaurant area?
Just in the casino and the pool.
Now, don't you have a background in stripping?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I do.
Well, tell us about it.
Yeah.
How did you get in? How's a young boy from Philadelphia get into exotic dancing?
Well, I was living in my car at the time, and I needed to look for a job, and I was in San Diego, and I'm like, you know what? I might as well go to L.A. And I look at this ad, and it says, "We need go-go boys," and then it said, send in a body picture and a face picture, and must be fit. So I submit it in, and then I go to this club. It's called Mickey's.
Mickey's right down the street.
Yes.
Now, for those of you listening, the Inappropriate Earlcast is done on location in West Hollywood, and Mickey's is a homosexual nightclub that does more business than any club or any business I've ever seen. There could be a blizzard outside. Mickey's would be packed with young boys, and you look very young. You are young.
Yeah.
I would imagine went over quite well at Mickey's.
Oh yeah. I went into the couch. The guy was just leaning in the couch, and he's just like, "So tell me about yourself." And then he told me "Listen, the first thing everybody in the bar sees is these dancers. You must bring the energy, and you must, and then that will attract everyone, and you'll get $50 plus tip." So they had us try out, and I didn't have a thong. So me and this other guy are like, listen, dude, I got an idea. I'm gonna take my underwear, I'm gonna fold it in front of my ass cheek so I can just show my, so I can show my ass and stuff. So, create a makeshift thong.
Okay, that must have looked real attractive.
Oh, yeah.
And now, who was this other guy? Who was this partner in crime you had? Just some dude you just met?
Yeah, some dude I just met who's also living in his car.
Okay, so you have a rare talent of finding people who are wayward souls.
Yeah, I know. I'm a traveler.
Because you're a good guy. You're a very nice guy. And you have to be careful, though, dude. People are going to take advantage of your niceness.
Yeah, apparently that's what happens.
Maybe gay comics who, we won't mention their names.
No.
Because we could get sued.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we probably couldn't because it's true what we would say. But, like I saw you one night with a certain comic, and I told you about this person's proclivities of, let's just say, taking advantage of younger male comics. And you didn't really listen to me because the next night, after I told you this, I saw you in the kitchen of the Comedy Store getting a back rub from him. Did you just think he was wanting to discuss comedy with you?
I mean, I was just giving a hello greeting, and then...
But you don't give a hello greeting by letting some horny gay comic give you a back rub.
No. I did not see that coming. He snuck one on me.
And you didn't think, hey, man, what's happening, and just walk away? You like the massage.
Well, I didn't know what to do. I was just like... Because when I first met him, I was really high, and he just... I try to shake his hand. He pulls me over. He's like, give me a hug, and then he just starts, like, rubbing my throat. And then he just starts feeling my neck.
And you didn't think to pull away. You thought, I guess this is how they do it in Hollywood.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was a customary greeting.
Okay, but didn't you notice he didn't do this to any girls?
Yeah, it took me a while to figure that one out.
And he was frothing at the side of Brenton Biddlecombe, who's like a very good-looking, very young-looking comic. I mean, literally, I saw him one night on the patio, looking like one of Pavlov's dogs. Waiting for the meat. I mean, frothing at the side of little Biddlecombe.
Yeah, he likes little guys.
But you're a very like we mentioned in the intro. You're a mixed martial artist. I mean,
yeah.
I remember one night fucking around with you, and you could kick my ass.
Yeah,
But you could. I'm fascinated by that. I mean, you trained with KJ Noons, a Strikeforce champion. And, the only reason you stopped training was you hurt your foot, I think?
Yeah, I hurt my foot, and then the gym prices got expensive because I was fighting amateur in kickboxing. So, I wasn't making any money.
Now, did you look up to a certain MMA fighter, like their style? Like?
Yeah, I mean, I always liked him. I always liked Genki Sudo because he always had these cool ring entrances where he came in and fought people. And he was just a great grappler, but... I guess as far as my fighting style would be, I guess it would be like a Hughes Edwards.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you're knowledgeable. And see, this is why we like to have people on the podcast. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought you were kind of a, maybe not the brightest guy in the world. I mean, you play this character up at the Comedy Store, almost like a Mexican Spicoli. Like, but you're actually a pretty smart dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have never have guessed who Yves Edwards is. And, you know who Fedor is?
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy.
I used to watch his tapes all the time.
And did you like his...
The way he uses his guard to punch people is the most interesting thing. Like, I've never seen it. No one would ever tell you to punch without your guard in. Just use all his body weight.
Right.
And then, his ground game, fantastic.
Oh, he was the best. I got kind of sad when he started losing. And
yeah, he was past his prime, though.
I think, he was only like 34 or 35 years old, but, one, he just couldn't compete with the bigger guys anyway, like Bigfoot Silva. That guy's a fucking monster.
Silva's a beast.
Yeah, I mean, he's, which really is scary how good Cain Velasquez is, knowing that he killed Bigfoot Silva twice. Yeah. I mean, that guy's, he's tough. But let's get back into the We got a story. Really, the reason, I mean, I would have had you on the show anyway.
Yeah.
And thank you for doing it.
Of course, man.
You're a good dude, but really, you have probably the most interesting story I've ever heard in regards to this female. We're all a family at the Comedy Store. We all look out for one another. It's really a fascinating place. The Comedy Store, I like to say, is like the bar in Star Wars, where you have every unsavory character in the world go up there to do comedy, to get laid, to get, possible narcotics. I mean, it is a fascinating place. And in it, you get fascinating people. And there was a girl who came up there. No one really, she kind of looked like, I don't know, like Billy Idol.
Yeah, she's got the Billy Idol cut.
The Billy Idol cut, kind of a good body. I mean, she looks like almost like chic homeless.
Yeah.
And she came up there one night, and I think her first night up there, she slid next to me in the back row of the original room and asked me where I lived, and I thought nothing of it. I'm like, oh, right down the street.
Yeah.
And she says, well, can I spend the night with you? Now, I literally barely talked to her. Under 5 minutes of talking to this girl. And I got, it's very rare that I pass on a girl for a possible sexual hookup.
Especially if she's 21.
Yeah, I mean, 21, and this was before I saw the hair under the armpits.
Oh, God.
So I knew right away this girl was trouble. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, I got family over. And she's like, well, I can sleep in your bed. I'm like, oh, man, my brother's got these 2 pit bulls. They sleep with me. And she said, oh, I don't mind. I love dogs. I mean, she had an answer for every, potential put down. I don't know how I got out of it, but she moved on to you. And I remember 5 minutes after she asked to spend the night with me, I see her making out with you in the Comedy Store hallway. Now, I want to know what her sales pitch was to you.
All right. She introduced me during the day. She said she was on the Ding Dong Show. And then it's funny, she asked me, the first thing she asked is what I was doing after the show. And I said, I'm going home. And then she's like, to do what? And then she's like, I'm like, to sleep. And then she's like, I'm talking about, I want to go home with you and have sex. And I'm like, okay.
And right away, there was no hesitation.
None.
Where you thought, maybe this isn't a good idea.
Yeah. And she starts, touching me and stuff. I'm like, oh, you're serious.
Where did she start touching you?
On the forehead. She just starts leaning close to me.
And she was trying to kiss you.
Yeah.
And that must have been when I saw you guys.
Yeah, that's when you saw us making out.
And so you don't have a car.
I did at the time.
And so you drive her to your place.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys walk in the door, and just what happens?
All right. As soon as we do, we get in bed. We start.
You don't even watch TV with her.
Yeah.
There's no foreplay. There's no hey, do you want anything to drink? Do you want to watch a movie? It was just right into the scene.
Yeah. Well, she's like, she wanted to ask me basic questions, she asked me when was the last time I had sex, and I said the truth. I'm like, a month ago.
And is that with the girl you fucked up meeting her on the train?
Oh no, that was another girl. This is a girl I've known for a little bit.
Right.
And I was hooking up with her, some artist chick, very eccentric.
Okay.
Big tits, your type.
Oh really? Where is she? What's her name?
Her name is Yasmin.
Okay, well we'll get her personal information off air.
Yeah.
How big are her tits?
Dude, huge.
Really?
Yeah, like these, man.
Okay, well that's good to know. I'll file that in the potential category for later on down the road. But this is about you. This ain't about mine. So you're in bed with her. Are you naked?
No, we're just curling up, and then she's just talking about how she's obsessed with her ex-boyfriend still.
That must have made you feel good.
Oh yeah, it made me feel great. She's like, sorry, I'm not that intimate during sex when I close my eye, so that's why I close my eyes a lot.
Because she's thinking of the ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
That must have really made you feel really good about yourself.
I know it did, man, but I didn't care if she was still touching me.
When did she start touching your pee-pee?
Oh, pretty close. Actually, the first thing she did was we start making out, and then right away she sucks my dick. That's the first thing she does.
And that must have been spectacular.
Oh, it was great.
Now, did anything come out of your pee-pee?
Oh no, nothing.
And then when's the sex start with this girl?
Well, right after she sucked my dick, I just go in.
No condom.
No condom. After you told me to wrap it up too,
Well, you know why I told you to wrap it up?
because you said
Someone else had slept with her the previous evening
yeah.
with no rubber.
Yeah, that was my friend.
Oh, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that didn't concern you at all, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was in the heat of the moment.
Well, AIDS is going to be heat of the moment at some point.
That's true.
You got to be careful, dude.
Yeah, I gotta get tested.
Now, where did you? So you're having unprotected sex with a girl you met at the Comedy Store, probably half hour.
Yeah.
Where did your baby batter go?
Oh man, I don't know, man. I just
You don't know.
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't know?
I was just like, all right. I take off my clothes first,
Right.
and I just start fucking her. And then I didn't know about her. She has armpit hair. She has hairy armpits.
That's hot.
Yeah, I know. I start, as soon as I start, taking off her clothes. In the middle of it, I see her armpit hairs, and then I remember her before. She didn't have dyed hair, playing on Don Barris's band. I'm like, oh, that's that chick.
What?
And then I just cover back up, and I'm like, all right, I'll look at her face, and then I'll just start going at it again.
So, but I'm trying to get out of you. Where did you come?
Oh, where did I come? I didn't come.
You didn't come the first night.
No. I have a weird thing with me coming, where it's like, especially if I'm not doing it with a condom, I can fuck forever. Like, I'm really good at making a woman come. Like, that's what I can do. Like, I don't get tired.
Okay.
And I just keep going and going.
But didn't you come in her at some point?
Yeah, I did come into her. I came in her in the next week because she wants me to. The weirdest thing is every time we fucked, she was always like, "I want you to come in me."
That's a good sign.
Yeah, a great sign. One time she said, "I want you to come in me and give me a child," and I was like, "Oh."
And what did you do? Come in her?
No.
Now,
I kept fucking her though.
okay, well, you're a giver. I like that about you. But here's the thing. This girl starts to act a little crazy.
Yes.
When did, like, the first sign, other than letting some guy have sex with her with no rubber, blowing loads in her, when was the first sign of trouble with this girl?
First sign. I think it was the next day. I take her. I do an open mic.
Right.
She starts.
She's at the open mic with you?
Yeah, she starts pulling my friend's hair.
Like like provocatively.
Yeah, and then she starts like trying to get cigarettes from everybody, and she's like, she's totally mooching off people.
And how did that make you feel? Because you were starting to develop feelings for this girl.
Yeah, I was like, oh, she's not so bad. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? And my friends are like, what the fuck, dude?
And so that was made. And then didn't you go shopping with her somewhere and she was shoplifting like a maniac?
Oh, yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah. So I feel like the third day I was with her, we go to CVS. She wanted to get her medication, her meds.
What kind of meds does this girl take?
Lithium, and she was in like 2 types of like painkillers, Percocet, and I think something. I forgot what it's called. Ativan or something. Yeah.
Okay.
And
She's taking all 3.
No, she's not. She's selling one of them to make. That was her plan, to sell one of them.
To someone in CVS?
No, outside.
Okay, that's a sound business move.
Yeah. So she was trying to do that. She couldn't get that, and then as soon as we walk out, the alarm starts ringing, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then she comes in, and then she comes in with these reading glasses. She stole like 3 reading glasses, and she's like, oh yeah, hey, can you help me remove these tags? And she goes up to a homeless guy, and she asks to use his knife so she can get out the tags. And then she's like, yeah, you looked really scared. I'm like, I just walk out, walk fast, and take everything.
What the security guard didn't come chase you guys?
No. But she got caught like the next week, I think, and then they just put her name down and says you can't come in there anymore.
Oh, so she's been blacklisted on the CVS.
Yeah, the CVS in Hollywood Boulevard.
Okay, well, now, so how does this? I'm trying to get to the story of you in Oregon.
Yeah.
So take us through that.
Okay.
Your last 2 weeks. I mean,
Oh, jeez.
she's from Oregon, right?
She's from Oregon, yes.
And did she ask you for a ride there?
Yeah, she's like, let's go to Oregon when you have a couple days off. And I said, I don't really want to go because, I'm trying to save money. And then she's like, let's go. And I was like telling her, no, I don't want to. And then something like, I don't know why. I don't even know why I'm like, she said, get your stuff. And for whatever reason, she's really good. She's very manipulative. And I'm so easy at it, too. I'm like, I start getting my stuff. It's like I had Stockholm syndrome, And then I just brought some clothes with me.
And you took your car.
Yes.
And who's paying for the gas? You.
Yeah, me.
And what are you getting out of this?
She said that she had some money saved in her house.
But let me ask you this. Does that seem plausible that a homeless girl would have money stashed away 3 states above us?
Yeah, absolutely not. But the more she kept talking about it, the more I thought, hey, maybe she's telling the truth.
So you're a little gullible.
Yeah, very, yes.
But, I mean, she must have been doing something to, make you think that this was a good idea. Like, maybe, like, something sexual. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Well, now, what was it?
When I was driving up, she kept on touching my penis. I was just like, oh, yeah.
Like, so you're driving to Oregon. She's probably sensing, oh, he probably doesn't want to do this. I'm going to touch his dick.
Yeah.
And is she playing with it, or is she just...
She's just, like, rubbing it, like,
Until you get to Oregon.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, we slept on our way back, but she was on her period, so we couldn't have sex.
Oh, I don't think a period would stop this girl.
No, she said if we had a shower, we could fuck.
If you had a shower.
Yeah.
Like at a rest stop or something.
Yeah.
And so you get to Oregon,
Mm-hmm.
and take us through that.
Okay, so we go to Oregon. I meet her dad.
He must be a catch.
Oh, yeah, man. She introduced me as her boyfriend. Then I go downstairs. Her dad's like, come with me. And her dad's like, listen, you seem like a nice guy. I can tell. I'm like, be really careful with her. She uses people. And I don't want that. I don't want that to happen to you.
And this is her dad telling you this about his daughter
Yes.
5 minutes after meeting you.
Yes. And on our way out of her dad's house, she got mad that her dad brought his current girlfriend. He got mad, so she's like, "We're going," and I'm like, "All right." And
Where's her real mom?
her real mom's in Alaska?
Okay. So I'm starting to see a pattern here,
Yeah.
maybe why she's like she is.
She said her divorce fucked her up or something. Her parents' divorce messed her up.
Yeah, I would say that's a fair statement.
Yeah, pretty much.
So she storms out of the house.
And on our way there, you know what she says? She's like, my dad cares more about my false boyfriend, my pretend boyfriend, than he cares about me.
And the false boyfriend was you.
Yeah.
That must have made you feel good.
Oh, yeah, it made me feel great. I'm like, oh, okay.
You just drove to Oregon with this twat.
Yeah.
It's on your dime. You got nothing out of it other than her touching your ding-a-ling.
Yeah. Boing.
So at this point, are you going, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done this?
Yeah, I know. My whole thing during the whole trip, I kept on thinking, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? And then, and I'm just like, damn, I'm here. I mean, fuck it. Let's go to Portland, I guess. She wants to go to Portland.
What's in Portland?
All right.
Other than the Trailblazers?
Yeah, other than that, apparently, she's attached to this one guy she knows who's locked up in a mental institute.
A mental institute.
Yes, a mental institute.
That must have made you feel good. This girl really treats you well.
Yeah, I know. She's really the best, And then she's like, She's like, we can't hold hands or anything. We're still technically. He's technically a boyfriend to me.
So wait, you can come inside of her, but you can't hold her hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
And here's the best thing. She needed my ID because she didn't have an ID to go visit him.
Well, you guys don't really look alike.
No, but she just needed someone with an ID.
But didn't you need to be there with her?
Yeah, I had to be there with her. But we didn't end up seeing him because it was past 8.
Oh, so you guys were trying to, yeah. I would imagine a mental institute wouldn't have visiting hours in the nighttime.
Yeah.
So you go to this place. You can't see the boyfriend. What's his problem?
I'm not entirely sure. She didn't really explain it. But I guess he had, like, history with drugs and maybe theft. I don't know.
Well, that sounds a lot like her problems.
Yeah, it sounds like her problems. Very similar. And on our way, we took I parked. We took a train. She steps on this kid's Jordans.
Right.
Freaks out at her. And then
The kid does.
Yeah, the kid does. Dude, then all these other, it's like, it was a gang of mostly black kids, but there was like one Asian girl, and then she was like starting shit, and then they just start like arguing. They start like getting mad, and then his older brother comes in. He's like, "Yo, man, what'd you do to my?" Because I think they think he's a boy. He's like, "Yo, what'd you do to my brother's shoes?"
They think the girl you're with is a boy.
I think so.
Because she does look, although she has a pretty face.
She does.
She does somewhat look masculine.
Yeah, because of. But I thought they could tell by her voice and stuff. And then the Korean chick was just like, and the gang was like they were just exchanging words. And then there was another couple near us, and then the girlfriend was like, hey, she did apologize. And then the guy next to him was like, fuck you, you punks, go fuck off, you punks. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of black kids just show up. He's like, yo, man, you want to kill him? And they start like taking off their shirts.
And you thought, were you getting worried that you might have to like use your MMA skills?
Yeah, I was worried. It's funny because I told her, like, listen, I train. I'm really good. If something happens, I can handle it. But she didn't believe me.
Well, you don't look like a fight,
No.
which is why I never fight. Like if I saw you in a bar,
Yeah.
I think I could kill this guy.
Yeah.
The reality is, you could kill me.
Yeah. I'm really quick, and I'm like, God damn, I might have to fight these guys because I don't want to hurt anybody. But luckily, some guy was like trying to tell him, hey man, we gotta block this up. One lady was calling the cops.
Right.
And all of a sudden, after he breaks it up, he's like talking about Zion or something. And then I'm like,
What is that?
he's talking about like the sacred homeland.
Were these guys devil worshippers or something?
No, he was like a Christian. He was just going on some Christian babble, and that was weird. And I'm like, all right, the cops are coming. She wanted to avoid the cops at all costs.
Because she, and you don't know this at the time,
Yeah.
she has felonies out.
4 arrest warrants, yeah.
Oh, okay, for stealing, I'm assuming?
Stealing, trespassing, probation. So we go to the other side of the car.
And then what?
And then I meet her dad's ex-girlfriend, she calls her stepmom. And she tries to get money from her. And she gives us $20, and because she's like, listen, someone owes me money, da da da, and I'm like, my ex-roommate owes me $300, and then she starts telling things like, listen, I had a falling out with my roommate. I'm like, okay, all right, this is
Roommate, she's homeless.
yeah.
So this might be a lie.
Yeah, I'm starting to discover she's full of shit.
So you get $20. I'm curious to where this $20 went to.
Gas because she lived 200 miles out of Portland.
No, that was gas for you.
Yeah.
So you get gas.
Yeah.
You go to.
I go to her home, which apparently is foreclosed. Has no electricity or light.
And is this where you're spending the night?
We're spending the night. We're sleeping in her closet. because and we have a bunch of blankets and a mattress.
Wait, you're sleeping in a closet with a mat? How big is this fucking closet?
It's it's big enough for us to fit in, so maybe 5 by 6.
And I'm assuming you're having sex.
Yeah.
Condom, no condom.
No condom.
So at this point, you're just there's no condom ever going to be used.
Yeah, there's no condom. We're in the middle of nowhere. She's from like farmland here.
And so you're having sex. Did you ever think when you met this girl at the Comedy Store that just a few days later you'd be having sex with her in a closet in Portland?
No, absolutely not. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? And she hated that. I'm like, all right, man, I need to get home. This is bad. I don't like doing this.
Right.
And then she's like, stop being such a pussy. It's unattractive.
Okay. And what were your thoughts on that?
I was like, really? I'm like, and then I try to do like, listen, I'm trying to be cool here, but this is a dumb idea. I don't know why I came, why I decided to come up here. This is ridiculous. This is the dumbest thing I ever did.
And that's saying something.
Yeah, and that's saying a lot. I've done a lot of dumb shit. This is dumb. And the next day we go in, we run into her friend.
This is where the trouble starts.
This is where the trouble starts. Gets bad. Her friend, she's like, I'm 11 days sober, and then her friend's with a boyfriend. He's a real cool guy. We shower in their house. We have sex in their shower, which is a nice stone shower, really cool.
Good water pressure?
Great water pressure. One of the best showers I had. They had 2 heads.
Oh, I bet.
2 heads, and then she just starts coming in, and I'm like, all right, let's fuck. And then she had to whisper in her ear, you're making me come.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then, I don't know, I'm like, all right, I have to leave. This is like Monday. This is Monday.
Right.
So I'm like, listen, I have to leave. I'm probably not going to get to work on time, so I'll get somebody to cover my shift. So, I was planning to leave that night.
And this is right around when people at the Comedy Store are starting to get worried about you.
Yes.
Like, there was all kinds of rumors, like you had gotten arrested in North Hollywood.
Oh, yeah, that was one, too, because there was a guy with a similar name to me who got arrested in North Hollywood.
Yeah, and we all started looking up police precinct. I guess there's some website you can go to see if someone got arrested. And so there's even rumors that you died.
Yeah, that was popular.
And we figured, well, this girl might have killed you and robbed you.
Yep.
So I take it from there.
All right, so we spent the whole, I started hanging out with this couple, and they're pretty cool. Well, they're not bad. And then, they were thinking about going to California. I'm like, oh, yeah, go tag along with us. That'd be cool. And like during like and then I found that the girl told me, she's like, the 5's closed because of flooding. I'm like, God damn it, I gotta wait another day to go back. I gotta wait at 5 in the morning to get to LA.
Right.
And I was kind of pissed off about that, but I was like, all right. So we start hanging out at at this house, and then all of a sudden she asked, I'm gonna go get cigarettes, and I'm like, can I borrow your car? And Rochelle's gonna go with her. I'm like, all right. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Me and this boyfriend are like, after 3 hours, we're like, what the fuck's going on here? Because her boyfriend's mad. He's like,
right.
What's happening? And then we start thinking, he's like, oh man, she's getting back to dope again.
The friend.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh God, I'm like freaking out. I'm like, I'm stuck. What am I gonna do? Well, hopefully she'll come back. He's like, hopefully she'll come back to her senses and realize, she's doing the wrong thing.
I'm sure that'll happen.
Yeah, that did not happen. So I run back into Rochelle, and we go back to her foreclosed home, and then I have no idea what to do. So we fuck. So of course that leads to fucking, because that's all we have is our entertainment.
And there's still no car.
Still no car. So then the next morning, I'm like, listen, I don't know what to do. She's like, I'm gonna call the cops. I want my friend to get sober. It's the only way. So we call the cops. The sheriff comes in. We file the report, and then all of a sudden, the sheriff arrests her.
Rochelle.
Yes, because she has 4 arrest warrants.
And she didn't think maybe we shouldn't call the cops.
Yeah, she's the one who called the cops. It was her idea. I didn't even say anything. She went to her neighbor's house and told me, listen, I called the cops. And the cops were like, oh, you're stranded. All right. And then the last time I ever saw this chick was handcuffed in the back of a police car.
Rochelle.
Yes.
But then, okay, so this happens, and now you're like, where's my car?
Yeah. So I start walking towards town, which is like 8 miles. Then I run to the chick's boyfriend, the chick of the boyfriend who stole the car. I run into him and his mom, and we start riding we start riding, and I see a bunch of cop cars at the gas station. I'm like, oh, that's my car. So I get dropped off. He's crying because that's his girlfriend. He said, I want to see her, but he didn't pay like $50 for his warrant, so they would arrest him too. If he was there. So I go in, and then she's handcuffed. She feels bad, but and then there's this other girl, young girl, who got mixed up in it. She was just riding the car. She didn't know what was going on, and they they let her go and stuff. And then I asked her, which way you're going? And she's like, I'm going south towards Eugene. And I'm like, well, if you're going there, I'll just drop you off.
But the cops gave you your car back? Like, there was no, like...
Yeah, there's no problem. They gave me my car back. They searched my car, and there was stuff in there that I'm like, I didn't know what it was. There was like a knife. I was like, all right.
And they asked you if it was your knife?
I'm like, no, it's not my knife. And then it looks sharp, but he's like, no, this knife's dull. And I'm like, okay. And then 2 pot pipes.
And those were probably yours.
No, they were mine. And I'm like, I've never seen those before.
And I don't know how dumb these cops were, man. I mean, you look like you smoke pot. I mean, you've got the long hair.
Yeah.
You've got the kind of similar speech pattern like I do, kind of stoned out. And these cops must have been in charge of the OJ case or something.
Yeah, it must have been, man. Because, one look at me. But at the same time, like, these other people around me, these 21-year-old kids, man, they look like... I'm like nothing compared to them. Like, I've never done dope or...
Really?
No.
You don't smoke weed?
I smoke weed. I don't smoke heroin.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
Or meth. I don't do meth. Oh, by the way, every time I was there, man, dude, they would crush these pills and they would sniff them.
And what kind of... what pills?
Like, they were just painkillers, like Valium.
Oxycontin?
Oxycontin. Stuff like that.
You really seem to have a magnet for trouble.
Yeah, I do.
So you pick up this girl to take her to Eugene.
Yeah.
This girl you don't know.
Yeah.
And what happens?
I just drop her off at the train station.
And then you start driving home.
I start driving home, and I want to get home.
And you're by yourself.
I'm by myself. I'm going fast. I'm like tired. I'm going 90 on a 70. I get pulled over.
Now, where do you get pulled over? In California?
Yeah, 50 miles outside of Sacramento.
Okay.
Then the cop comes up to me, and then he's like, yo, what's with the missing persons report? Your license is suspended. I'm shaking. I'm all nervous and stuff. And he asks me why I'm shaking. Are you on drugs? I'm like, no, I'm just a weird person. I'm just really eccentric and stuff. And he's like, all right. I mean, that's fine. And then he's like, listen, I got to tow your car away. So after I got my car back, I got it taken away again.
By the cops?
Yeah, and he's like, I'm not going to arrest you. I'm just going to drop you off at this Denny's. There's a motel. There's a restaurant. There's a payphone. And you can handle that. And you have a missing persons report.
And so what happens next?
I call my buddy, and I'm like, dude, I don't know what to do. And then I just go to the motel and I sleep, and then I log on to Facebook, and then I see all these messages that are like, what happened to this guy? And he's like, you know, where's Jared Levin? You know, I see all these where's Jared Levin posts.
Because we were concerned.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit. I'm like, oh man. And I see my dad email me. He's like, where are you? Please contact me. He's like, I'll fly back to the Philippines just to see you because he was really worried. And my stepmom's all like, you know, she's trying to like contact me. So I had to contact everyone on Facebook. And my mom apparently was in LA at the time.
Your real mom or your stepmom?
My real mom.
Right.
And she was in Palm Springs, and she was like, not really doing anything. She's like,
Well, what could she do? No one knew where you were.
yeah, no. I contacted her. When I was contacting her, she was just like calling me a drug addict because I smoked pot.
I never would have guessed you smoked pot.
Yeah, I never would have too. Right.
Now, so the cop drops you off at this Denny's. Did you get a grand slam or anything?
I didn't get a grand slam because I remember last time I had a grand slam, a guy was gobbling sausages, and it made me feel weird.
Now, this is the same comic giving you a back rub in the Comedy Store kitchen.
Yes, that's correct. I just had a tea.
Didn't you think the guy gobbling sausages right in front of you might have been an indicator he had interest in you?
That is true. I also which helped me for the next scenario. I mean, I was stuck in this place for a day. I didn't know how to get out.
Did you have money to like pay for a hotel?
Yeah, I had money to get the hotel and stuff, but there was no cab, no bus, no train station.
No cab? What were you going to take a cab to fucking Los Angeles?
No, I was gonna take it to the train, to Greyhound or anything.
Oh, okay.
And I had no idea what to do, and I was like trying to ask people if they were going south, they were going to the station, and gas people.
Hitchhiking.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? I ran into these other hitchhikers, and they were just like the shady people I ran into Oregon, and I'm like, I can't deal with this. So I just go on the 5 South. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna walk the 5 South. I'm gonna put my thumb up, and hopefully somebody will pick me up or something. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm out of options. So I keep walking down, and by the time I walk to the next exit, a truck pulls over, and
Like an 18-wheeler.
An 18-wheeler, and I go up, and then he goes,
Where you headed?
yeah, where you headed? And I'm like, I'm going to LA. He's like, oh, I live in LA. I'm like, oh, perfect.
I bet.
Oh yeah, and then I bet is what happens. I start talking to this guy, you know,
In the truck.
In the truck.
So you're driving on the 5.
Yeah. And he says, you know, he's like, oh man, you really shouldn't have went to Oregon. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And then I start learning that he's gay.
What a shock.
What a shock, right? And then he says, and then he's like, you know, when I was on Crystal, you know, sex was my first priority. But now that I'm not on Crystal, you know, I care about friendship and relationships and all that other stuff. And if you have any he's like, if you ever want to try gay sex, you can call me. I was like, okay.
And it's just like 5 minutes into the ride?
Oh no, this is like a couple hours. Like,
Okay.
like probably, you know, probably 3 or 4. And I should have known, like, cause like one time we had to go to a truck stop. They're not allowed to have passengers, and I was laying in the bed in the back, and he's like, I like the way you lay down. And I'm like, oh boy, you probably want me to bend over.
So you're laying in this guy's Wait a minute. What do you mean he's not supposed to have passengers? What is this, a UPS driver?
No, he's just a 18-wheeler.
They can have passengers. Dude, are you that dumb? This guy just wanted you to lie in his bed and probably plow you.
Yeah, that's true, because he was saying at the he was like saying, we'll go to LA the next morning. I might have to take you to the Motel 6.
Oh,
and
dude.
And then he kept on like playing subtle hints, like, I want to lay down right next to you. And I should have known, like, because one of the first things he told me was like, you look cool. And he's like, you know, because when I was driving down and I saw you, I'm like, I don't know what he looks like. And then he's like, but then I saw you, and I'm like, you look cool, and then you seem pretty cool.
Yeah, cool in his ass.
Yeah. Yep.
So he's hinting that he wants to... Well, why would he have to stay in a hotel if he's got a bed?
Because every time they have I guess he says for like, I guess because he wanted to, you know.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I think he was trying to get me to fuck him. And, you know.
Oh, okay. Now we're on board.
Yeah. I really, you know, he was really putting those hints out. And then every once in a while we talk. Then he'd be like, you know, you should do this, and he just like grabs my shoulder, and he's like, oh yeah, you know. nice shoulder over there. And one time he grabbed my leg. He's like, yeah, I like it when you say, sure. He's like, yeah, oh yeah, sure. You want to have sex with me? He just yanks my ankle.
Now, at any point, were you getting aroused? Aroused?
No, I was like, oh well, I gotta get to L.A. somehow.
Because you're straight. You're not
Yeah.
into like dudes.
No.
But you seem to find yourself in situations where you're around older homosexuals.
Correct. That is correct. I tend to put myself in these situations.
Now, be honest. Did he try and touch your dick?
After we got off, the closest time he touched my dick was right when I climbed in. He's like, step down, and he's like, come on, man. And then he hugs me.
Right.
And then right where his like cheek is, he puts his cheek on my dick area.
And what did you do?
I was like,
Wait, I've embraced a lot of people before.
Yeah.
You're stepping down off his 18-wheeler.
Yeah, he's down.
He's down facing you.
Facing me.
And then you turn around to probably say thank you.
Yeah.
And his face is in your dick?
Yes, correct.
That's an interesting way to hug someone.
It is really interesting. He's like, I couldn't help it.
Oh my God. Dude.
Yeah, and you know what else he said right as soon as they're going to L.A.?
Oh, I can't wait for this.
He's like, yeah, I'm gonna try to have sex with you, and I'm like, dude, I really like pussy. I'm obsessed with it. He's like, well, it's a work in progress, to be continued.
Oh, and what did you say?
I was like,
okay.
Oh, yeah. I was kind of like that, and I'm like, you're not the first one to try.
And so instead of discouraging him, you almost like say, oh, it might be worth the effort. You're a real goyim, dude.
I know.
So he drops you off.
Mm-hmm.
You're back home.
Yeah.
And what's your first move when you're back home to let people know you're all right?
I go to Marty's.
Which is a open mic comedy, not club, but a comedy room.
Yeah. I go back, and it's like, holy shit, you're alive. Actually, when I was walking back, I actually got a cop looked at me. She was like, are you on have you ever been arrested or anything? I'm like, no. I guess because, like, I didn't shave, so I was like...
Oh, so you looked a little rough.
I looked rough. I looked bad.
And now, this whole time, are you thinking, how am I going to get my car out of this place in Sacramento?
I was thinking about that, but my mom's like, listen, you're okay. I talk to the tow company. I'll figure out something. So
do you have your car back?
No. I had to hitchhike back.
Well, I know that, but I mean, like, how are you going to be able to get your car back?
I have no idea.
Because that is going to mean you're going to have to go back to Sacramento.
I might have to. I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on, but my mom told me not to worry about it. I talked to the tow person, and we're trying to figure out something.
Okay.
So that's a work in progress.
And now you're back at the comedy store.
Yep, back here.
Doing comedy.
Doing comedy.
How's that going?
Because every time I go into a room, they're like, you're alive!
Because you're very well liked.
Yeah. I didn't realize how much, man.
I mean, you are like an iconic figure. Everyone loves you.
Yeah.
Which is very rare in the LA comedy community.
It is
mean,
really rare.
Usually, you're either loved or disliked.
Yeah.
Because you're like this lovable, goofy, stoner character that, managers love you.
Yeah.
Other comics. So, to wrap this up, have you had any contact with Rochelle, the crazy girl?
Yes, I looked in her Facebook wall, and I was telling you this earlier, and I saw these "fuck you, Jared Levin" posts. And they're like, "Fuck you for leaving me in Oregon, in Sweet Home, Oregon," and then I want to kick your ass, and then I think there were two posts very similar. And then I messaged her, and I'm like, I told you before you got arrested that I was going to, go back to LA because I really need to get back. Because I thought people were worried and stuff. And then she texted me, you took and this is today, right this morning.
So breaking news.
This is breaking news. This is fresh. She goes, when you leave with a girl, you have to tell me. And then she starts complaining about how I had her stuff in the car and then her skateboard, and she's like, I have a skateboard competition.
Well, somehow I don't think that should be her main priority.
No, it shouldn't be her main priority. At least she got out. I guess she was only there for a day.
In jail.
Yeah, in jail.
Now, where do you see you and this girl in the future? You will have sex with her again. I know you, dude. You love pussy too much.
Dude, I love pussy, man.
And this is easy, no rubber. I mean...
Oh, man, she fucks like a beast. Whew.
Well, she's got hair on her arms. She is a beast.
Yeah, that's true.
And then
I have less hair on my arms than she has on hers.
And didn't she sit on your face?
She did. She did sit on my face. She's like, I'm going to sit on your face. And, dude, I was all about it, man. I was like, yeah, all right.
When do you think she showers a lot? Was there a certain kind of stench?
No, she showered. Actually, she was well kept, believe it or not.
For a homeless girl?
Yeah, for a homeless girl, very well kept. The boom level.
Okay, boon level. Now, what he's referring to out there is, at the Comedy Store, there is a homeless transvestite named Boone Shakalaka, who you would think the guy would smell and have horrible body odor, but he's actually well kept. So I'm sure Rochelle really is honored to be compared to Boone Shakalaka.
Yeah.
So now this girl, her whereabouts are kind of almost unknown right now.
Yeah, I know she's in Oregon.
But do you think she'll come back to L.A. in search of love with you?
Oh, dude. I think I know she's gonna end up going back, but from when I talked about the people who know her, she does it spontaneously. Yeah, she probably might come back, and that's the problem.
Now, did you ever? And you'll have sex with her again, won't you?
Dude, like if I talk to her, it's gonna end up that way, and I can't. I gotta stay away from her.
But you won't, dude.
Oh man, that's the problem.
I mean, maybe you have a sex disease.
Yeah, maybe that might be.
Well, you will in a couple months. I mean, really, dude.
I gotta get tested.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know, man. I was just.
You're having unprotected sex with a homeless girl. Let me ask you this: Do you think you're the only one she's having sex with?
Absolutely not.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, no.
Do you already have AIDS and you're just not worried about catching it twice?
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Oh, you do? All right. Well, breaking news. We're out in the AIDS of Jared Levin. No, I'm just kidding. Jared Levin does not have AIDS.
I don't have AIDS. No, you know what? This gives me hope. I think she was really honest. She said she had chlamydia once, and this guy gave her chlamydia, and she said she was so embarrassed about having chlamydia. So I don't think, and she saw the she has health insurance, so she saw the she was with the doctor, and I guess they didn't sense anything wrong with her.
Other than chlamydia?
This was no chlamydia anymore.
Okay. Well, dude, hopefully you've learned a lesson from this.
Yeah.
I know you haven't.
No, dude, I gotta stay away from the pussy.
Are you dating anyone right now?
No, but I'm gonna try to, hopefully meet someone else where I don't have to deal with her.
Right, but even if here's the thing, man, about chicks. She's locked in on you because she sees you as an easy target.
I am pretty easy. Yeah.
Did she ever? Oh, you're too nice, dude.
Yeah.
You're like some country bumpkin. I mean, you gotta toughen up, dude.
Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta step up with her.
Yeah, I mean, but dude, I know you. You're not. She's gonna call you. Hey, I'm in town. You'll say, okay, come over. And she's gonna try and move in. I mean, did I not tell you the first night? Don't let her spend the night.
Yeah, you did.
Because I care about you.
Yeah.
And you let her spend the night, and look what happened.
Yeah, this disaster.
All this could have been avoided if you would have listened to Uncle Earl.
I should listen to Earl, man.
I mean, I've been around the block. I know what happens with these crazy broads. And, you got to just be careful, dude.
Yeah.
You're going to get this girl pregnant, and there's going to be a little Richard Ramirez running around.
Oh, God. No, I can't see her again. I got to...
But you will, though, dude. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You're weak.
Oh.
You're weak-minded when it comes to snatch.
Yeah, I know.
All right, well, let's end this on a positive note. I don't mean HIV, but I mean, where can people, if they want to contact you, you're on Facebook?
Yeah, I'm Jared Levin on Facebook. Jared Levin Lost is my Twitter handle.
All right, so it's JARED
Yeah,
LE
VIN.
Lost on Twitter.
Yes.
Please add this person. I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg. You know, we covered a lot, but this guy is so intriguing. Follow him on. You're on Twitter more than Facebook, though, right?
No, I'm on Facebook more, but I don't have a computer. I spilled juice on the computer. The computer got shut down because of that. You know.
Okay, you spilled juice on the computer. What kind of juice?
Not that kind of juice you were thinking of. The one I swallowed from her. I'm talking about like
Oh
orange
my
juice.
God. All right, well, dude, this is. I appreciate you giving me the exclusive first interview. I know a lot of people were after you to do their shows because you're with or without this story, you are an intriguing character.
Quite, thank you.
I mean, you are like a comic book character. You've got this interesting look, you know, the long black hair, the stonerish speak.
Yeah.
I mean, people want to know about you. Ex-male dancer, you know, MMA. I mean, you've got a varying background that most people don't.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Do you have any thoughts on Ronda Rousey winning on UFC 170? Let's get your MMA take. Do you watch her fights?
No, I didn't watch, but I heard, you know, how she's been dominant.
Yeah, she's a bad bitch.
She is bad.
Have you ever trained with a girl?
Yeah, because I was the lightest one, I would end up training the girls who were fighting.
Did your dick ever get hard?
Yeah, man, I had to be careful, man. I was like, oh boy. 'Cause, you know, when I see that snatch, you know.
Right. You could get caught in a rear naked.
Yeah. Oh, I'm like, oh, you can give me a triangle chokehold any day, you know.
Well, there you go. I'm sure those girls feel more comfortable in the cage with you from now on. But we're going to see you at the Comedy Store Wednesday night. We're going to have a live interview session. So catch Jared Levin on Facebook. Twitter, he's Jared Levin Lost. I am Inappropriate Earl. Skakel, review us on iTunes. We're also on SoundCloud. And thank you for listening. Next week, we'll have an episode out on Monday. Today, we're releasing the Don Fry episode, UFC legend Don Fry. So please tune into that, and we'll see you soon.